Imagine, imagine a world where AI does not take your job, or it does not uh, replace you, it represents you. What we have is agents who will try to amplify your voice. We do have agents in our world who will embrace different perspectives, and we have agents who will empower different communities. And we have talked about this a lot, and I'll give you some more examples where we will see that how agents are trying to are trying to get empathy and represents us in far more deeper ways, capture our values. So before we get into all of this, I want to give you an anatomy of a successful AI product. And we have seen some of these successful products right in front of our eyes. A few years ago, the worst drivers of the road were by far the taxi drivers. And we used to believe that building better roads, having better policing would probably help that, and it did. But what also helped was an innocuous feature called driver rating system introduced by, say, Uber, where a driver is self-rated based on how good they perform, and based on their performance, they get to be paired with better opportunities. Some of us in this room who write code would have got feedback from our professors, our mentors, our managers that your code is not well documented. And that was true, but in today's world, it is actually in our best interest to write well-documented code, because then GitHub Copilot can help you provide the best suggestions and enhance the outcome of your code. But perhaps the best example of AI products that have shaped our generation is the decision review system in the game of cricket, wherein a ball is tracked by various cameras put across the stadium under different conditions of surface and scene and swing, and then the AI product has to predict the most likely path which the ball is going to take or would have taken. A product like this have fundamentally changed the way we perceive the game of cricket, and has also done the same for various other sports. So these are some of the examples of successful AI products which have induced behavioral changes. What are the next frontiers of these transformative AI products which are going to shape our world going forward? So these are agents which are truly empowering. These are agents which bring awareness of oneself, an individual. These are agents which align with our mission and our vision, and they adapt to our outcomes. Right? So these are agents which are, they are not just agents, but this is the beginning. So think about it this way: these agents will move out of some of the futuristic agents. They will move out of the screens and will be in our senses. So to begin with, the pixel language models are the models which will not only represent images, but represent the nuances of what is being represented in the image. The audio language model doesn't represent just the voice, it represents, will represent the tonality, the intonation, the enthusiasm in the voice. Most importantly, the place where some of the most futuristic work is happening are the haptic language models. And the haptic language model is a way to transform touch, to transform emotions, to transform temperature and pressure over the internet. So, this would actually bring an absolute transformation in the way of how we think about agents today, which is more in a textual form, to more of agents which will be in a sensory form and will then be able to capture human perceptions as we go along. So, the sense of touch is something which is very new for us to imagine as an agent, and hence I want to kind of deep dive into this a little bit. So there is a reason to transmit touch, and capture the vibrations, the emotional patterns of the touch. How do you do that? You bring that together in a cohesive signal which is encoded, and then that signal then should actually be transmitted through the internet, through any other means, and then be converted back into sensory renderings. And if something like this has to happen, will happen, or when this will happen, what will it transform? It will transform these futuristic synthesis mechanisms. Imagine, we have all seen how online education has transformed and brought the world together. But imagine online education with sensory feedback. Exactly how a teacher, a professor, provides that feedback to you in a real classroom scenario. Something like this can then be replicated in healthcare and therapy, where imagine a physiotherapist doesn't have to come to you in a physical form. The physiotherapist can then provide these sensory agentic outcomes through remote means. And a lot of these can then be replicated in multiple verticals, which is about communication, which is about remote presence, and all sorts of those things. However, this brings us to a slight challenge or conundrum. The conundrum is that, and it really starts with every revolution or successful revolution in the world has shaped or shifted power dynamics in the history. And, for example, this dynamics has shifted from the industry, in the industrial revolution, it shifted to building machines. In the information revolution or digital revolution, it shifted to compute. We are in intelligence revolution right now, and what does it shift to? It shifts to create and to be able to create, to replicate various different intelligence agents. However, the challenge with that is, and the challenge with all revolutions have been, that people who manage to win have always had some level of stronger this thing. So, for example, guns and ammunitions have all, in the past, we have seen that have won historically. And in today's world, the reciprocal this thing of guns and ammunitions or steel is algorithms. How are these algorithms then built or fed? These algorithms are built and fed based on data that currently is is generated in large ways and which currently gives more prominence to louder voices. And this is where I want to say that we need to be building models that encompasses all different perspectives. It encompasses our culture, our thought process of Vasudev Kutumbakam, our ideas of how we want to drive the democracy in the world, what we feel individualistic about our earth, and lots and lots of things, including spirituality and things. So, what is important is we need to ensure that while we are moving very fast, we need to ensure that we build models that that brings these different perspectives in together, but not only gives voice to the strongest, but also gives captures the perspective of the variety and the veracity. And these kind of agents would then be able to represent everybody in the world as opposed to just a few. So obviously we are at the crossroads right now in terms of building agents that empower us versus agents who can colonize us, and it is up to us to decide how we build these agents where each voice, even though it's a smaller voice, even though it's a cultural, uniqueness, that gets amplified. And this is where I leave you. Thank you so much.